Hello, I'm back. Well, I have been gone for a couple of months, and there's a couple good reasons why. First, we had our middle son, daughter-in-law, and 2 grandchildren, ages 4 and 2, living with us for about a month. They were between different cities, states, jobs, all that kind of stuff, and they needed a place to stay. So we changed out our video room here back into a bedroom, and they moved in for a month, and it was so nice to have them here and to be able to play with our grandchildren. We don't get a whole lot of time with our grandchildren because they don't live close by anymore. So it was a great time. Then immediately after they moved to the new state for the new job, my husband and I took a road trip in our motorhome. We got this motorhome last year. It's used and it's just the right size for the 2 of us. It's got all the different things that we like in a motorhome, and we decided we would take a month's trip. We had a trip previously planned for springtime this year, but COVID hit, so we had to cancel all those plans, and it was time to take some time to ourselves and go on the road. So, me being a crocheter, I cannot be without projects to work on, and I got to thinking, what could I work on in the motorhome? It couldn't be big like an Afghan, it had to be small. So I chose a bunch of different projects to work on, and I took them all with me, and they fit just fine in the motorhome. And I'd like to share those projects with you today to inspire you to do all kinds of different projects, learn new things, and try different things. So let's take a look at the projects that I did on that road trip. This is the first thing I'd like to share with you today. This is a book that I got from Sue Perez. It's her brand new book that she's self-published. I have met Sue at the Crochet Guild of America conference, and she's a very talented designer. So Sue graciously sent me this book to review on my website, and if you're interested in that, you can check out my blog post and read what I have said about this book in there. But just very basically, here's the contents of the book. Sue has many, many, many pages on the technique and some practice swatches and 25 different blocks that you can make and a bunch of different projects that you can make with this technique. I chose 2 projects from the book, and here's the first one. This is called the Chattermark bag. This is a really cool little bag that really turned out well. And the headband, the Ropeway headbands. So let me show you my finished projects from this book. Here's the little headband that I made. You can see the cables in here that are formed with Sue's live loop cable technique, and it's fully operational. And I put these little extra buttons on here because I'm going to give this to my 4-year-old granddaughter. So this is a little headband that's going to her, and I think it turned out really well. It was a good project for me to learn the technique before jumping into the bigger project, which was the bag. So here's my bag. I put this cute little button on here, and you can make the strap any length you want, and this is made with I-cord, and Sue has taught how to make I-cord with crochet hook. She has a really good video on her YouTube channel on making that I-cord, as well as the instructions in the book. But this cute little button I had, I thought would go great on here, and there's a little loop to close it. And I chose to line the bag. Sue gives instructions in the book for lining the bag, and it's very functional now. And the recipient of this little bag will be able to use it quite well. I totally forgot to mention in my intro to this video that another thing I did in the last 2 months was I flew up to Anchorage, Alaska to teach crochet classes for the Ididachain Crochet Guild in Anchorage. There were 11 wonderful ladies there, and I enjoyed meeting each one of them. One of them actually was working on some headbands that she sells locally there, and she shared the pattern with me. It's a free pattern, and I'd like to show you that pattern now because it's one that I took on vacation and made while I was gone. So this is the pattern that I took along with me. I've got the link in the video description below. It's a free pattern, as you can see. And this headband is really cool because you make this long rectangle, and then you fold it and put it together and seam it to make the nice front, kind of a knot looking thing. So let me show you the headband that I made. Here's the adult size that I made, and it turned out really good. It was a quick headband to make, and I think it has a lot of visual impact with the bobbles or popcorns, whichever you want to call them, on here, and the texture that you get in here by working into the back hump or bump or loop of your half double crochets. So check out this pattern. I had enough yarn in here in the ball that I used that I decided to make the smaller size too. There's 3 different sizes in the pattern. So these are going to my daughter-in-law and my granddaughter so they can have some mother-daughter headbands to wear. Okay, here's the next project I took with me. This one is actually a slouchy hat, which I've never made before. I've always made fitted hats. And this one is done in Tunisian crochet for this section. It's got a nice wide brim on it, which is doubled, and it turned out really well. This one took a little bit longer to make, but the pattern was well written, and it was fun to try something a little different. I've done Tunisian crochet before, but never quite like this. So here's that double thick brim, and it's all crocheted in one big long rectangle, and then you seam it up one edge and you pull it in on the top and you add your pom-pom. Now, I'm not a big fan of these fur pom-poms, and the ones that I found in my store I really don't like, so I decided to make my own with this yarn and another yarn that I put together. So here is my finished slouchy hat. So here's the next thing that I did on our little road trip. These are in no particular order because I went back and forth between projects, so I don't remember what I did first and what I did next. But after doing that slouchy hat with the nice bottom on it, I decided I would start with the bottom similar but not doubled. And this hat is one that is my design. It's to go with my Easy Rainbow Scarf pattern. And that's on my website. It's got fringe at the bottom. And somebody on Etsy had asked me if I had a coordinating hat for this scarf. And at the time I didn't, and I thought to myself, why don't I? What's holding me back? So I took the yarns with me on vacation, and I actually couldn't finish it on vacation because I took a darker purple than the one that I used in the scarf, and I wanted to use the same colors, so I had to wait till we got home. And then I finished it at home. This one starts at the bottom with your ribbing and then works up to the crown of the hat. And I have decreases worked in here so that it just comes up nice and neat on there. So this came out really well, I think, to go along with the scarf. And if you're interested in the pattern, it'll be coming soon to my website. If you don't want to miss it, go ahead and subscribe to my blog so that you will know when I have a blog post about it, and you'll know when it's available. This is the next thing I chose to take on our little road trip. I picked up this leaflet quite a few years ago because I thought it was a really interesting technique. And what you do in this technique is you're using sewing thread, like these spools, and you're using 3 strands at a time. You're using 3 strands of the darkest color in the center, and you switch out every few rounds 1 strand for the next lightest strand. So you're always switching out your strands. So you're shading your doily from the center out. Now, because I wasn't really keen on any of the patterns in here for the doilies, I chose to use a pattern from this book that I already had. And I decided when I would change out the colors. And this was my finished doily. I didn't want to spend a ton of money on sewing thread, so I picked up this set of little spools of sewing thread quite a few years ago, probably after I bought the booklet. And this was pretty economical, like $10 for all of this sewing thread. And I was able to use a lot of the different colors in here for shading my doily. I don't know if this is cotton thread though, because if it was cotton thread, I think my doily would have blocked better. And this is blocked, but I'm not keen on how it blocked out. It's not as flat as I would like it, and it's not staying in place really well. So I think in the future, when I do this technique, I'll probably get out some of my size 10 thread and a bigger hook and try it that way, because I know my size 10 crochet thread is cotton, and that always blocks out well. So because this didn't block out well, I'm not as pleased with it as I would be if it blocked well. But it turned out very pretty with the shading, so it was a good technique to try. Okay, this next project was one that I actually got when we were out in our motorhome. We visited family and friends on our trip, which was so nice to see them again. And in a motorhome, you can only carry so much food, so we had to go to Walmart and get more food. And whenever I'm in Walmart, I like to look in the yarn aisle. So I found this skein of Summer Nights by Lion Brand. It's got 437 yards, and it is a number 1 weight, super fine. And they recommend an E hook. I think I used a D hook, but because I wanted it a little bit firmer. But it was $4 for all this yardage, and I said, I've never used this yarn before, so let me pick it up and see what I can design out of it. So here is my finished design. I don't think you can get all of this in here, but here's the neck opening, and this is a small poncho for summertime. It's lightweight, it's got 4 points, and it drapes nicely and would look great anytime in the summer. This is not going to keep a person warm, but it's going to be very pretty because this yarn has little sparkles in it. So anyway, when this pattern is ready for purchase, you can find that out on my website as well. Okay, this is the next project I'd like to show you. This is one that I started 15 to 20 years ago and put away for whatever reason it was. I do not remember. This hasn't been blocked yet, and I haven't finished it. I've gotten this far, and there's a little bit more to do around the edges. But I ran out of thread, and this is an old thread that I was using. So I contacted a couple of my friends who are threadies from my bobbin lace group, and one of them actually had this thread, so I'm going to be getting that from her later this week so I can finish up the project. And the project is going to be gorgeous. Here's the picture in the magazine. It's called Lake Placid, and it's from the August 2002 edition of Magic Crochet magazine. So I'm excited to get that thread from her and get this finished. It's a size 30 thread and a size 10 steel crochet hook. So it's a little finer than I usually use, but I am pushing my boundaries and trying new things. So I've got just this part left to do on it, and then I can block it and use it or gift it. Okay, I'm sure you can tell that this is not crochet. This is counted cross stitch, and this is something that I've been working on for a while. It's going to be a beautiful big wreath to frame and hang in my bedroom, I believe. I'll use it in. And this is the picture in the pattern, and I am getting very close to the end on this. Here, I'll just slide this up. I have a lot of work over here to do, and then I've got all kinds of outlining, because in counted cross stitch patterns there's lots of outlining to do. So I am on the home stretch on this, and it's fun to switch projects sometimes from crochet to other types of needlework. Okay, here's the last thing that I took with me on vacation. This is my little electric spinning wheel. This is an electric Eel Wheel Nano, and it's very small and lightweight, and I can hook it up to a battery or plug it in, and I can spin some yarn. So I can take fiber such as this, spin it and ply it, and turn it into yarn to use in other projects. What kind of crochet projects do you take when you go on vacation? Do you plan ahead or do you wing it? Does it depend on the type of vacation? Please share your experiences in the comments below so we can learn from each other. I hope you've enjoyed this video looking at all the different projects that I made while I was on vacation. Some projects I finished and some are still ongoing. But I thoroughly enjoyed learning some new crochet techniques and improving my skills. I hope you'll give some of these projects a try to improve your crochet skills and knowledge. I've included links in the video description below so that you can find each one of these patterns. And if you're interested in knowing what yarns I've used, I've included that information as well. If you'd like to see more of my crochet videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you'd like to find out when my new crochet patterns are available, please subscribe to my blog on my website, thecrochetarchitect.com. Thanks so much for watching. Happy crocheting and crafting to all of you. Please leave your comments below. I don't remember how you said I should word that.
So we
please share your experiences.
Please.
So we can learn from each other.
Right. Go ahead and start over again. Yeah.
Can you just splice it?
No, just start over.
Okay. All right.
So funny.
What kind of crochet projects do you take?
I don't know. Why do you think that's so funny?
Because I had to start over. I had to switch gears. What did I say at the beginning? I don't know.
Okay, all right.
It's already been 30 seconds. I've forgotten. I'm like Dory. Bad memory.
Mhm.
Okay.